I have a Jisoo life.
Do you even have a work
Yeah,
bestie?
actually, do you have a work bestie?
I have a work bestie.
Is it another guy?
No, it's not.
Have you guys ever regretted becoming too close to someone at work?
No, after that I just marry them. Oh. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Hot Pot where we hop into different transitions in life. I'm Nick.
I'm Q.
I'm Joey, and joining us today is the glorious, beautiful, magnificent, independent, shining superstar, Lynette.
Wow.
Superstar
is crazy.
I know.
Okay, if y'all don't know Lynette, she's actually my colleague. That's really strange to say.
Yeah, so gross.
Because we're more than that, you know. Okay, so we used to be in the same team, which leads us to today's topic on workplace friendships.
Workplace friendships can feel quite intense. Daily lunches, inside jokes, shared struggles, a little bit of shared trauma as well sometimes. But once the job ends, do these connections actually last? Like you think if either one of y'all leave tomorrow, will you also be friends? Who knows?
Okay, before we kickstart today's episode, I have to ask, are we besties?
No lah.
I think okay lah.
Not a bestie trio.
Actually, I doubt.
No,
I
bestie
doubt,
trio, yes. But not besties.
I doubt down how I feel about y'all after Q gave us like a 7 or something like that.
That
end
was
of last year.
1 year
Oh, the
ago.
rating.
Move on. Move on.
Because before that, I thought y'all were quite good friends. But then I
But
brought
got
it
top
down.
5 or not? Look at Lynette. She's just
Yeah.
she started winning this
I'm
conversation.
so stressed out for you guys.
So to start off, right, how do you define a work bestie?
To me, I feel like work bestie is the person that you generally will gravitate to at a workplace. Like it's the kind like when you all have to go for a meeting, you'll want to save a seat for the person.
True,
Yeah.
True.
And I think what defines it is also if y'all had some sort of like mutual respect or mutual work compatibility. If you are a high performer, you wouldn't be work besties with someone who is a bit more chill.
Fundamentally, I feel like must be same level. Like in terms of
Similar lah.
the corporate organizational structure.
Similar rank lah.
Correct. If not,
Otherwise, it'll be a bit awkward, is it?
yeah, either that or unless you are a completely different department, like you don't
If not
interact.
HR, right, there might be
Yeah.
a bit of complaints like that if this person gets a promotion, it's because they're bestie, she put in a good work.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
How many work besties can you have?
I think it's the same as real life because a lot of people tend to use besties on a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I personally feel like bestie is only one person.
Oh.
Now, how do you define a work bestie? Do you even have a work
Yeah,
bestie?
actually, do you have a work bestie?
I have a work bestie.
Oh my god, men can
Wait,
have
I'm so
besties.
shocked.
Just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Is it another guy?
No, it's not.
Is this?
How dare you?
Just knows my work bestie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then okay lah.
okay.
Is it like work wife vibes?
No lah.
No, work
okay.
wife is like absolutely no.
So describe your work bestie for us.
My work bestie is from Ghana. Yeah, so she's an expat.
Oh,
She's an expat.
oh, is that very shocked?
You don't know this?
Oh, it's so interesting.
I think cause when I first joined like my previous team, which was about 3 years back, then I was the youngest one in the team. She was also a similar age, so she's also quite like high flyer for her age and all that. So then there's a lot of shared experiences and struggles.
The closest parallel I can draw, right, is like when you're in school, you will have a school bestie. There's one person you'll gravitate towards. This person might not be the best friend in your entire life, but when it comes to work or school, there is that one person that you kind of stick to. You have each other's backs. Like there's that dedicated person. If you don't make it to class, they'll collect your notes for you. If you have things that you need to pass on, like meeting notes, then you will take it for that person. Like everyone knows that you guys are the duo.
But sometimes I feel like it's a case where after you move to a different role or team or company, then maybe your dynamic with your work bestie changes quite a bit. So then that person might not be your work bestie anymore.
Yeah,
then it becomes just a good friend lah.
Actually, in our team, right? I mean, because Lynette moved out of our team, but previously, her and Fats were super close, and they were like the duo.
Yeah.
They laugh right, super loud one. Then it's like the whole team like okay.
So do you feel that your dynamic with Fats now has changed in the sense that maybe you don't have as much like FaceTime with each other, but then you're still good friends? Huh?
Yeah, so we are good friends outside of work. How Fats and I got close was because we had a project together that requires us to travel quite a lot. Then I think through the entire process, we also trauma bonded lah, because the whole thing was very like chaotic. and we had to like solve a lot of problems together. Then that's how we have gotten very close. But after that, I think she's moved on to other projects. I've also moved out of the team. Then that whole work dynamic is not there anymore. But then we maintain as good friends outside.
But do you think it's important to have close friends at work?
I think it helps lah. I don't think it's 100% essential. But I think it helps to make the place a lot more tolerable and enjoyable. Okay, so actually on that note, right, in the 2025 Forbes article, employees who build relationships at work tend to have a more enjoyable and satisfying experience. And 85% of US employees with close friends at work report that these friendships have positively impacted their careers.
I agree.
Yeah.
As in, I think it's not a necessity, it's not a need. But because work makes up so much of our adult lives, right? Then it's like good to have
Yeah.
if you can have someone that you get along well with at work.
I think it's also a sense of belonging. Because if you don't gel well with anyone and you don't really vibe with anyone, then it's a very lonely journey. And then like when your boss and managers kind of put you through a specific like difficult project, right? And then there's no one you can confide in. That's very difficult, I feel.
I agree. I mean, I think it's two things, right? There's the internal factor and the external factors. Internally, like you definitely will enjoy going to work more, feel a bit more motivated. You don't dread work as much when you know that you are surrounded by people that you like and who like you also. And then externally, like from a corporate workplace politics perspective as well, it's always good to have more people who will vouch for you and who are on your side lah.
I think some people would see it as biasness also though.
But that's the way the world works, right? For example, if you're working in a client-facing role, your personality is super important. Like whether a client likes you can sometimes be as like superficial as like your vibe.
True. I think it's like very much like life, right? What I'm hearing from you is like we technically can survive on our own,
Yeah.
right? But it is very alienating to feel like you're going through life alone. Because it could be simple things like having lunch together, having that break for you to share a burden with someone in your personal life that you might have brought into work.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that can contribute to a healthier experience if you have someone. I feel like we talk about this a lot with work. Like if you like your colleagues, it changes the way you look at a job and it makes you stay longer if you like your colleagues. There are a lot of people who maybe they don't like the company structure, but they have good enough pay and like their colleagues. They'll stay for as long as they can because it's still essentially working with friends lah.
Correct.
Right?
And if you are like a hiring manager, for example, or if your boss is asking you for an opinion of two candidates, one is your friend, one is not your friend, but everything else is equal, you would tend to vouch for your friend ma.
I also think like on your note of being lonely, right? I think it's not because like you have no support outside of work, but it's harder to let people like your partner or like your friends outside to understand exactly what you're going through
The
at work.
context, then you need to explain everything, which is
correct.
very exhausting.
Correct,
So by
correct.
then you're like, then forget it. Let's not talk about
sometimes
it.
like I very long never catch up with my like other bestie, right? Like I feel like I have to re let him know like who these main characters are in my workplace. Then I feel like I'll end up I just like a bit lazy to explain.
But then, you know, like how people say the culture is toxic or they like the culture. Actually, people make the culture, right? Like the friendships and the way friendships are being treated also. Like if they encourage you to have friendships within the company, then that builds the culture, right? Because I know there are some places they don't like people to mingle.
I was just about to mention this. I feel like some people don't like it when other colleagues cross the line.
Yeah.
Like you need to be strictly colleagues. They don't believe that colleagues should be friends.
Yeah. Actually, the only job that I felt that I stayed too long there, right, was because of the people. Like most of my friends were my colleagues. And that was a big kind of like reason to stay. But it was quite interesting because that workplace had built up such a culture of like all of your colleagues are your friends, right? That whenever there was someone who came from a different work culture, there's like, I just want to only see you all from 9 a.m. to 6
We're
p.m.
damn shocked there.
Then we're a bit shocked. Like, so it's like, hey, this person, why so antisocial? But actually, this person is just being a normal Singaporean worker.
No, in hindsight, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I can relate to that person
Correct.
more now.
Yeah.
But back then it's like, boo.
Yeah, back then it was like,
Why
huh?
you don't want to be friends?
What do you mean you don't want to join us
You
for
don't want to eat
lunch?
dinner with
What do
us?
you mean you don't want to stay after work to eat dinner
You
with
don't want to
us?
spend time with us 2 more hours after work? That's kind of strange, right?
It's my
Yeah.
nightmare actually.
But also because in that stage of life, your career is what you want to progress in, and the people around you will help make that progression a lot easier.
I think last time nobody
No,
cared
I
about
didn't
me.
care.
It was
Oh,
just pure
really?
vibes.
I wanted to feel like a uni kid.
Yeah. Last time Q was a bit more of a work bestie. Now, like,
Okay, do you want to unpack that?
Wait, wait, we were never work besties. What are you talking about?
yeah, actually, she never saw
We're
me
in a
as a work
different
bestie.
department.
I always go and like ask her, hey, what are you doing? Then she just like, as though I'm disturbing her.
He really disturbing me. What do y'all think are other benefits of having a work bestie?
I think that the fact that this person is clued into context, you already feel understood. And in general, we want to be understood, right? Like, imagine you just have a tough call. You don't need to say anything. You look at your bestie, you just, they get it. Immediately they get it, and you feel like there's no debrief needed. This person supports you because of that closeness. Sometimes you don't need to speak, and you just feel less alone.
Correct.
On that note, right, back when you and Fats were dealing with such a difficult project, how did y'all help each other?
I think a lot of like the people that we work with, like the crew or like the talents, have always said that they could see how we just kind of read each other, then we will support. Like, don't need to ask. Like, she's struggling with step A, then I'm already doing step C. Like, then she does the same for me. Yeah, so it's like, it's exactly that. Like, no words needed. You kind of just like support each other with knowing the whole context of like what the work is about.
And I think it makes sense because essentially you are a team, right? And teammates need that rapport and bond in order to excel together. So after a while, you'll read each other's body language. You know when the person comes in, it's been a rough morning, then you already know if that person's temper might be a bit short, to kind of help work around that instead of, what's wrong with you today? Like, why can't you just, you know what I mean? If you don't understand that person, you might start taking things very personally. But with that relationship and context, you already know, like, okay, she's probably having a rough morning. Like, why don't I pick up this instead? Why don't you do this instead?
Okay, how can you tell the difference between a work bestie and a real bestie? Or at which point does a work bestie transcend work bestiness and become real bestie?
When you make that shift is when you start spending more time outside of work, and where there are more contexts to this relationship and this friendship beyond a work setting.
Your work bestie, you can rely on them when it comes to work, right? Like for projects or meetings or whatever. But in your personal life, if let's say you need help with something and they're like, hey, actually I can help you with that, then you start to realize, hey, actually I can depend on you in these areas of my life also. Then that's when the doors kind of open, and then you realize, oh, actually in life, this is someone that I trust, that I can depend on, and vice versa. And then I feel like that's when the line gets a bit blurry.
Sometimes it's a bit tough because, like, for me, I think about 2 years ago, right, I would be the type that anyone that works in the same corporate workplace as me, right, I would automatically associate you as like a workplace figure, or like this is a workplace relationship,
yeah.
right? Then if let's say my end of year break, December, where I'm like completely out of the office, right? If you text me, right, I feel like I'm, even if it's non-work related, right, I feel like I'm less inclined to reply to you.
Yeah.
No, I can relate to that.
I find that if we meet, we will inevitably talk about
It's a
work.
reminder, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a reminder.
Actually, do you think the industry you are in has an impact on how the friendships form? Like if you are in one of the big fours, for example, I feel like friendships might be very different, right?
Transactional.
Yeah, because it's competitive. And also in the creative industry, so much of what you do is quite parallel with your lives. The
True.
content you make needs to be relatable. For example, like when you guys produce content, it's based on your experiences or shared experiences or perspectives on the world, versus for the corporate world, right? It's very numbers based. Like the figures and everything that you all discuss have nothing to do with your personal lives.
Like people in banking or investing.
Correct. Like
I think they
finance.
might have a different version of themselves that they're portraying.
In the workplace, I'm not like that also, ma. Because it's a different
Correct.
self that you need to put forward.
No, then don't you think that it's harder to be a best friend with someone because you're not really your truest
True self.
version?
No, I think that even in the workplace, there's work mode and play mode.
So there's a work version,
Of the
best
play.
friend.
There's a
There's a work play.
there's
and then
a work
play.
there's a yes, correct. There's work, there's work play, and then there's play.
So you can only be friends when you're in work play.
Yeah,
You cannot be besties in work.
correct. I don't think so.
And also, I feel like in certain corporate industries, even the work play is very calculated because some people use the information shared during work play against you in work.
Oh, correct. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I feel like it really depends on the on where you're working lah. Creative side, I do find that all my friends that are in agencies and all that, they do hang out outside of work because so much of their work has to do with lifestyle.
Yep.
But the corporate, like finance, insurance, very different.
And I feel that like the fun part also is when you and your work friends don't work together anymore, then you can play.
Yeah, okay, so you all know my closest friends are Ellie, Jess, and Cham. We all met in our previous workplace. And actually, it's so funny that my bestest friends are from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we truly became closer because sometimes you gossip about the past or you trauma bond about the past, and what makes it less superficial is when you actually go through shit together.
Yep.
Like you talk about your relationships, you talk about your family, then that's when you get closer lah.
Okay, but building on that, right, then do you think you can be friends with someone that you are competing with at work?
Okay, so Q and I have always been parallels, like on the same kind of similar levels, on parallel, like growing in the same direction, but
and
like
pace.
yeah, correct,
But different brands.
Different brands. Then there was once where our brand was gonna merge. Then she got promoted to take care of the two brands, and then I got promoted to take on other portfolios.
But I think what we know behind the scenes is that they were considering the two of us, which one go where. But I mean, deep down, maybe we have preferences also, ma.
Yeah,
In hindsight, we were like, oh, it could have been me in her position.
yeah,
You could have been in my position.
yeah. But I have to say that I think it's very difficult. Like, not gonna lie, I think there will be thoughts, like we're all humans, ma. There will be cases where we will think like, oh, I could have been in her position, or I would feel like, how come they never? What is the thought process of them choosing me to do this? Moving me out of the team, for example. But privately, we have always told each other that like I have always told her, if I have to work under you, I happy.
Yeah, and that's what I said to her also. And I think it's because we respect each other and we, in some sense, know that whoever who leads the team will...
We trust.
Yeah.
But what about your personal ambition? Is it because you all don't mind being a bit more chill ambition-wise?
I think it's a bit more complicated to answer this question because we work in an MNC ma. So in this team, maybe she's the lead of the team, but in the corporate structure, we are the same rank.
Right.
And we can still promote in whatever.
Different ways.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So then in that sense, the ambition part of it is a separate.
But I remember having a conversation with her. I think we debriefed afterwards and I was like, are you affected by this? And I think we were just expressing that we will support each other. And if like we do feel unhappy in our roles, then we could potentially talk to our managers lah. So those are the things that we did as friends. So this transcends the work bestie already, right? It's more like on a personal level, I feel like I want to care for her as a friend. I'm pulling myself out of the colleague mode.
I think we handle it quite well, but I do know of someone from like my previous workplace where they were work besties that hang out outside of work. They like would travel together and all that. But then one of them got promoted and then she becomes the manager of the other person lah. Then it becomes a situation where like, because they are still in besties mode, sometimes like the subordinate will like just say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? But then in the workplace context, it's not respectful anymore. Yeah, then it has caused a bit of strain in the friendship lah.
How will you all navigate this? If let's say you are the manager.
I mean, I think then it becomes a very different dynamic. I think it will just be a case where once or twice maybe I will help if I really see that there is a real need.
No, how would you phrase it? I'm your bro. Hey bro, help me. Like you always do for me the past 2 times.
Oh, then I will put in 30 minutes to go and talk about it. Say, hey, there is this instance where you brought it up this way, a certain way. Because we are friends, I don't mind helping. But then at the end of the day, blah, blah, blah.
So you do an intervention.
Correct.
You will say, I'm your boss like that.
Yeah.
我是你老板耶
I wouldn't phrase it like that lah. It's more of, I think we just need to be also mindful and respectful of like reporting lines.
Yeah.
I think if this person has brought your play into your work, right, then I will make sure not to have this conversation in work. Because it might sour the friendship.
Yeah.
So maybe during play, because we are both friends, right? Then I'll say, hey, actually, I've been wanting to talk to you about something. And I really hope that you can hear me out. Like, I love you as a friend. I would love to support you in work wherever I can.
Not a bad, yeah.
But it makes it difficult for me because if other people see me doing this for you, now my work is at risk.
Oh.
And I will have to start doing this for other people. So I think if you are struggling, tell me, friend to friend, like I can empathize with you. But unfortunately at work, we have new boundaries and it's difficult to navigate, but I'm like, we can talk about it.
No, that's very smart because there was once I had to work with my current bestie. There was some conflict lah. I think he has his own perspective in terms of his company. I have my own perspective of like my deliverables. I did go to him and say like, as a friend, like this, I need to let you know this. And then we could connect as a friend to understand each other. Then we bring it back to like work to see how we like solve the situation.
When you suggested that, right, is it because you feel like when you do in a work situation, then they'll feel like you're using your authority against them?
Yeah, I feel like because they already are crossing the boundary, that means they don't know how to handle this boundary well. You cannot further reinforce the boundary because it'll get them to be defensive.
Yeah.
So once their defenses are down, then they hear you as friend to friend rather than see you as you are just a boss now and you're like towering over me. Because they might already be in a weird like state of mind.
I think the intervention setting is quite important. So if there is a task at hand that is very, very urgent, right? I think just like bite the bullet and get it done. But then if you have a little bit more time or if it's more of like a undercurrent issue, right, then maybe it's hey, we grab a drink after work, then you bring it up in a bit more of like a softer way lah.
Right.
I do feel inevitably you will have to make some changes in the workplace setting. Because if let's say now you're a boss, right, it's not very good for other people of your friends level to see that only two of you go out for drinks after
Correct.
work. You know what I mean? You have to be a bit tactful about it.
No lah, I think if you go out for drinks with this one person, you must go out for drinks with other people also lah.
Correct lor.
Because if you have multiple people reporting into you, but you only are like giving more airtime to one person,
true.
then cannot lah.
Yeah, so I think it cannot be, hey, I wait for you in the lobby. No, I think it has to be like, I'll meet you there.
I think one off is okay lah. Like
No, but work bestie ma. You know what I mean?
Like everyone knows already. So then they know that, oh, you're gonna go for a secret lunch without us.
Wait, but do y'all feel like the more you try to hide, then
The more stars it gets.
yeah, I agree. I think nothing to hide on.
I think you must do it tactfully.
Yeah, and honestly, right, I think in our team, there are duos and trios with different dynamics, which we fully respect.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I see them like, oh, they go for dinner together. Then I'm like, okay, have fun. Like I feel like we don't need to force certain connections. And I mean, definitely if you're the only one that's left out and you feel like you're singled out and you're outcasted, right, then that's very unfair lah. But I think if generally you have a good relationship with almost everyone in a team, but you just don't have a work bestie, I also think that's okay because I feel like not everyone can find a work bestie.
Correct.
It's true. Wait, bringing it back to you guys, right? You guys found out Footnotes together. Was this before or after you guys became besties?
I think we only became besties after.
No. I meant like y'all were
Before.
besties already.
No,
Besties.
besties.
Besties already. That's why you can do the footnote.
So we were not besties prior to that. But I think we've always respected each other and our humor was very aligned.
As in, we had a good working relationship. And then we went on a course together. I think that was the course that brought us closer.
We went to a leadership course. Our boss assigned the two of us. I think over the course, because we only had each other.
Over the
right?
course of the course.
Over the course of the course, we only had each other and so we bonded.
Correct. And also because she was the lead for You Got Watch, I was the lead for Clarity. Then we used our free time during the course to like help each other out.
Like we ideate for our brands using what we learned.
Yeah.
So of course they became besties.
Actually, now you all even look a bit alike.
The hell?
Why people say
No,
that?
as in a lot of people say we look a bit like
Got a bit of
sisters.
sibling energy. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think throughout building Footnotes, then we became closer. And actually just now I was just telling her like, oh my God, we got multiple personalities because we came from the office. But then we also meet outside of work, right? To be friends. Then we also meet outside of work to discuss Footnotes.
No, and we have 3 different personalities for that. Like work, right? We are very like, okay, today Vivi's is like blah, blah, blah. Engagement what rate, whatever, etc. Then when Footnotes, we are like, okay, sis, we got to do this, we got to blah, blah, hey, then we host. Then when we are on our own, then we're like,
Yeah.
I love that. Actually, I feel like based on what you guys have been talking about, right? It seems like if you really want to be work besties that thrive inside and outside of work, it takes a lot of emotional intelligence because you will be able to adapt to the situation. Whereas some people, once they make friends with you, then that will happen where they expect your outside relationship to have a upper hand at work. Or to have like things slide. Like, hey, cannot lah, you can do one, right? I know you know how to do it.
I think it's a lot harder for actual real besties to
Become
get
work.
into work. Yeah. So it's like I think the reason why I told you that I felt like if I were to do anything, it would have been like you would have been the perfect person for it, right? Because I think we have a good working foundation already. Yeah. I wouldn't have considered a lot of my current closest friends.
Yes, because I also have a close friend that almost wanted to join You Go Watch. And I said, no. I said no. Like, I don't think it would work out because it's a different dynamic. You guys are friends first, and then now you're reporting to me.
Yeah.
A bit strange.
It's true. Sometimes you shouldn't work with friends. I think it's in the same arm of sometimes you don't travel with friends. Like, there's some friends you know you cannot travel or work with. I do have some friends we tried working together, and after that we've never worked together ever again. It was a group of us, and we still hang out. We still treat each other at the same like closeness, but we just know that working together does not work out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it becomes quite difficult lah. Worst case scenario, imagine if there's a day where I need to fire you or I need to lay you off. Then after that, how? Like, can we still be friends or not?
I have been in situations before where I endorse a friend to work
Oh.
with me. And then when the person underperforms, right, I also feel
Stress,
like
right?
all eyes are on me. Yeah.
Like
So-
you refer ma.
Yeah, correct. So it's like even in this scenario, it's already difficult.
That's true. And while we're on this plane, right, what do y'all think are the cons of having a work bestie or being close to people at work?
Sometimes when I get like information that has to do with my work bestie, then I feel a bit cursed with the info. Like for example, if someone tells me that this person not performing well, then I'm like, do I say or
Damn
don't say
it.
that kind of thing, you know? Or like act blur.
I think when you're close to some colleagues, then it's just harder to break the news.
It's true. Or if you hear like, hey, actually I heard they might be laying this person off, but you cannot say anything.
Yeah.
Then it's your bestie, then how?
Oh yeah, it's like your manager tell you something and then you cannot tell them.
Then
Correct.
imagine that situation, right? Your manager tell you, actually, they're going to fire your bestie. Then your bestie is saying, actually, work has been going good, right? I think I'm going to buy a car. Then what are you going to do?
No, but actually, I honestly, no, sis, actually, no. If I'm in that situation, right, I would tell my best friend.
Like, I will be very like, no, don't buy the car. Like, hey,
Not now.
Hey, the car ugly. Like, just keep trying to make sure you do it. Because you also don't want to be the person to tell your friend they're gonna get fired.
Tell them to use Nic's finance sheet to like
You go
save
and
a
plan
bit
first.
first. Yeah, you save a bit first.
Maybe
you
think about it.
wait for 2 more weeks. On the 15th of October,
Let's set a random
Then
date.
you decide.
Yeah. Okay, let's set a random date right now. Then you choose the date your boss.
Do the cause feng shui. Feng shui say you can only buy a car on this date.
Right. Like, I feel like these situations exist.
what about gossiping? Because I think maybe with some closer friends or closer colleagues, then you might start to gossip a lot. Do you think that is unhealthy?
If like every time you hang out, all you do is gossip, then it's not very good.
I think if it's not first-hand knowledge, then that's where the gossiping becomes very toxic. If you know it because it happened to you, then that one is not gossiping. You're just telling people what this person did badly, right? Like, that one I don't see as gossiping. But if it's like things that you don't fact check, or it's just to diminish someone's character and just to be like, this person sucks, then like no productivity in the conversation, then you're just using that time to make people look like shit lah.
I think aside from that, maybe some people would also expect you to always take their side.
Or what if it's like y'all are having the same meeting, then it's been a rough morning for you, you never take the coffee for your friend, you're like, you didn't take coffee for me, or you didn't save the seat for me, they mentioned my name and you didn't take the notes for me. Then it crosses a bit like, hey, you should handle your own stuff. I can try if I remember to, but like, it's not my responsibility to cover your ass all the time. So I feel like that can get a bit like grey, right?
I will struggle with like knowing when's the time to be a friend and when's the time to be a work friend. Like for example, if we are going for the same meeting, then we already said like, we meet in the lobby, we go together. But then if that person is very late, then do you be like, I wait for you, we are in this together, or you're like,
No, I'll go first.
No lah, yeah, no.
first.
Yeah.
Is my
Because some people
impression.
might not understand that.
Yeah.
I think those some people are too young. Like they're too entitled and too young to understand how important it is to be on time, the work ethics. Yeah. Have you guys ever regretted becoming too close to someone at work?
No, after that I just marry them. Oh.
I'ma need a minute. I need
Jaw drop eh.
Yeah.
5-minute
Drop
break.
eh.
What's in my bag?
Work edition.
For those listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Me Listen, please join us on YouTube as the visual elements are a treat for you.
So every day I bring my iPad to office
That's a lie.
because I have an additional screen, and then I have my laptop. I have a Jisoo Live. Look at Lynette now.
Oi, my friends.
You can reach Joey also, I think. Look at this. That's crazy, eh? I have a power bank. My earphones.
Hey, your power bank very small.
Yeah, later I show you. My power bank
can
is
send me the link?
like that. Then got no wire one. And then I have an umbrella,
Oh wow.
which would put Ida off. But
Hey, this is
that-
damn Bursa.
Oh, I think that's about it.
I don't have a lot of things. I just have my laptop.
Well, how do you fit your laptop in there?
I purposely find one that is like gang gang hao, just right, just nice. And then I have like oral hygiene related things because
The
like
floss is her go-to.
that's right. And then like lipstick. And then sometimes the office a bit a bit dry. So I
office
have
a bit oily.
Sorry, the office a bit dry. So I have bio oil to oil my cuticles. Oh, your
Okay,
back
my
basah.
turn. Today is Bursa.
Bursa.
Today's back a bit Bursa, usually not so Bursa, okay? Laptop. Help me ho. Crusty makeup bag though. Sorry.
Yeah, the makeup
It's very gross. It's very
Yeah, you don't watch
gross.
my TikTok, even more crusty lah. One thing about me is I will always bring this as well,
Hey, sisters.
which I need now. Oh, and also Hong Tai.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Clap for me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
This
This
is
is ridiculous lah.
This is my bag because today I had to bring a lot with me, and recently,
This is performative, Joey.
hey, I
Hey,
even
stop
start
attacking
her. First one, hand sanitizer, damn important. Okay, then the first small pocket I have, very important, AirPods. You realize that they got no pouch for their pouch, but I like pouch for my
Pouch for the pouch.
the real work. Cause
Oh
today
my, oh.
because
gonna-
today got work, right? As in shoot is also work. So I have my makeup bag,
What, big, yeah?
ginormous. And then this is my charger for my MacBook. Okay.
I need to leave
And
like that.
then my pencil case.
Why you need pencil case?
Because I have my planner, my work planner.
Okay.
And my
Aiyo.
like journal
Wow,
to keep
wholesome.
my life together. And then don't judge, we have my laptop.
Ginormous laptop.
Okay. Then I have my
I'm really judging.
then I have my iPad Pro. Okay. Then this one also uses like that one. You can like that. Okay. And then I have the iPad Mini that I use for.
That's ridiculous lah. Come
sorry,
on.
okay, usually you'll bring all three, man.
Okay, the small iPad Mini is what I use for hosting and for Hotpot, so I had to bring it today. Then this is a change of clothes for the next episode that we're about to film.
Wow, this is maximalist consumerism final boss. Eh.
Hey,
I feel like I have maybe said some things just because in that moment I felt like I'm vulnerable. Like we're close at that moment. And then I shared something about my personal life. And then afterwards, right, I feel exposed. I feel a bit like nauseous afterwards. I'm like, oh, feel like vomiting.
You're so clean.
Hey, relax. No, but have you all ever felt that? Like you
No.
expose some...
Not in the slightest.
okay, can you like give her chance to?
You hesitate a bit first.
You asked what?
He never even finished. You know already.
No, have you ever, not you, have you guys ever exposed something about yourself and then realized like, shit, I said too much?
Yes, I think in a work setting, a bit difficult because technically in the freelance world, you are all vying for opportunities. If you hang out with people that are like you, then the opportunities tend to be very similar, right? So I think there have been moments where maybe I share something going on in my personal life and then they use it
Against
in conversation. Yeah, lah, but because you got like that, what?
Yeah.
whoa, like that's not cool to bring up. Yeah. Or you might have brought up, like maybe you bring up someone that you've had a very sus encounter with, and then in a group setting, hey, your best friend what? You know, like people who have just no
Blabbermouth.
EQ.
Yeah.
no EQ, and they don't realize that they are putting themselves at the top of the social like standing right now, so they have a one up on everybody. They don't realize they're doing that. But then I start to stick to myself a bit more. I understand that it is competitive, and for some people they really see it as, if you get an opportunity, it means they suck. Like they see it as exclusive that way.
Maybe it's also because in the like freelance world, there's not as many best practices that are established. Like etiquette lah.
There's no SOP.
Correct. Like in the corporate workplace, there's like workplace etiquette. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also feel like there's a lack of teamwork as
Yeah.
compared to corporate world.
And
It's like
that
each
you-
for its own.
Correct. You don't need to care about team harmony and all that
Yeah.
lah.
On that note about like boundaries, right? Do y'all think y'all should be sharing how much you're earning with your work bestie or like your outside friends?
Wow, tough.
No. I'm a no.
You elaborate?
As in, I personally feel like once you expose your salary, then inevitably everyone's gonna compare. And word might spread. People might start to share that information. I will never trust anyone with my salary.
I think with co-workers, like colleagues, it is a bit more sensitive. I know like in the US especially and amongst like the Gen Zs,
Pay
there's a
transparency.
big push on like pay transparency. And then like I have even seen in there's a global advertising agency master Google sheet that has been floating around, right? Where people will go in and anonymously lah, they put in their the agency name, their title, years of experience, where they are based, and what's their salary.
Macam Glassdoor.
Correct. So then it's like it's supposed to be for pay transparency lah. That I can get behind because like it's anonymous.
It's not
mah.
tied to your
But,
name, right?
But when I feel it becomes a problem is that if you then reduce me and everything that I can offer, right, to a dollar value.
True.
Especially in a workplace context. If, for example, now we are on the same team working on a certain project or a pitch or like a account, then you will peg that like, oh, this person earned more than me, so I just ask him to do the thing, even though like in terms of job function and role, it might not even be my job. Okay, so actually, right, what is one thing that y'all have learned from your work friendships, like good or bad?
I think the one striking lesson for me, especially this year, is just because you are close friends and you relate to each other on an emotional level or you like the same things, doesn't mean that they have the same capabilities of being objective when it comes to work. The respect sometimes does not translate. When there's an element of competition, sometimes they might not have the capabilities to be respectful. And I think once you cross that boundary, right, unfortunately, on the receiving end of it, it's quite hard to unsee lah, and it will inevitably affect your friendship. So I keep these things very private for the sake of our friendship to last longer.
Actually, on that point, right, I wanted to say that I think it's human nature to be competitive and to like maybe feel a bit upset that you are not going at the pace that you are hoping for. But I think there needs to be a conversation with, if you are really very close with this person, there needs to be a conversation. And I think you also need to understand that your friend's progress and your progress is not linked.
Yeah.
When she's doing well doesn't mean that you are lagging behind. Yeah.
Sometimes it could just be because there's only one slot, like one spot left.
Correct.
And then you're just a little bit more capable or like more suitable for that job because of maybe your personality or your creativity, and then you got the job. That doesn't mean your friends suck.
Yeah, I think just because you can be happy for someone, right, doesn't mean they can also be happy for you sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel like you don't need to or you shouldn't feel pressured to have a work bestie also. Like you can 100% be a introverted, like solo contributor and still have a very meaningful career. So thank you for joining us on this episode of The Hot Pot. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to You Got Watch if you haven't already.
And thank you to the radiant, mesmerizing, intelligent, independent Lynette.
Keep going,
for
keep
joining
going.
us. 我没有了，
You never say superstar. You never say yeah,
Superstar.
Wow, thanks thanks for having me. I love the hot pot.
And we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
So how y'all gonna like best friends?
Kana best friend is there.
No, I think cause
Put that in.
No, put that in. Funny. How y'all like collide?
Yeah, go like it's crazy.